And the news just keep on coming for LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2. Of course, what is going on, everyone? My name is Blitzwinger, and welcome back to a brand new Blitz News update. And today, we continue to receive lovely information about LEGO Marvel Superheroes. Just earlier today, in fact, I uploaded a video where we looked at the teaser trailer where we saw some really cool character reveals like Baby Groot. We also saw Green Goblin in that trailer. We saw possibly Leader. We saw Doctor Strange. And most importantly, we learned that the teaser trailer let us know that there will be a full gameplay trailer coming out on May 23rd, which is just about a week away. Just a little over a week, in fact. But nevertheless, today we also learned an insane amount of additional info that now I will compile into this video, and I hope that you guys will find intriguing. Now, of course, don't forget, guys, if you do enjoy this Blitz News update, smash that like button. There is some really sweet stuff we learned. We learned the launch date. We learned the consoles that it will be coming out to. We learned the storyline. We learned a whole bunch of characters. So we're going to go through all of those things in this one video. So let's get rocking and let's get rolling. Let's start with the kind of more boring but important stuff, and that is what consoles will the game be coming out on. So it will be coming out on the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, the PC, and the Nintendo Switch. So that is really cool that it's coming out on all of those consoles. It also makes me hopeful that this is going to be kind of the next generation of LEGO games, because previous LEGO games were somewhat held back because they had to be released on the PS3 and the Xbox 360 as well. This time it looks as though they will be abandoning those consoles and kind of going into the future and embracing PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Switch as the primary consoles. Yes, it sucks for people who might not have one of those consoles. I agree with that argument, but at the same time, you have to understand that eventually they have to do that. Like, they can't keep making those games forever on those older consoles, because guess what? We need the games to be better, and in order for them to be better, they need to be built to run on these newer consoles. So I'm a-okay with this, and I'm in support of this because I'm hopeful we get a much more intriguing and unique LEGO game. Now, additionally to that, we learned that the game will be coming out on November 14th of 2017. Now, keep in mind, that is the launch date for the US. Now, I don't know what that means. Is that North America, or is that literally just the US that will be getting it on the 14th? So I'm not too certain about that. Nevertheless, though, the game will then be available worldwide on November 17th. So there will be about a 3-day discrepancy between the game coming out across the board. So just wanted to clarify that as well. Now, with that in mind, let's move on to some additional information, and that is the storyline. And we learned a lot about the storyline. I was actually kind of blown away by how much of the storyline they gave away. Now, if you looked at the teaser trailer video that I made, you might have saw me mention the fact that, hey, that's Baby Groot, and that's kind of a very similar MCU costume for Doctor Strange. So I was a little concerned. I was like, hey, does this mean that this game is going to be MCU focused again? Nope, because we got some really intriguing confirmations about who will be in this game, what will be the storyline of the game, and then we saw actual character models for some sweet character confirmations. So, with all of that in mind, let's get rocking and let's get rolling. The first thing we're going to touch on is the actual storyline. So this is going to be a really interesting game, and one that I am personally really excited about, because it's going to be focused on the cosmic side of things for Marvel, which I am stoked about because I love space, and this sounds really exciting and quite a bit of fun. I also know that this is probably going to turn some people away, because some people cannot stand space and they would much rather everything stay down on Earth, because a lot of people, that's kind of what resonates to them with Marvel, is that a lot of the stories kind of take place in, you know, New York City and in parts of the world that we know, so we can kind of associate certain ideas, memories, thoughts, and so on and so forth with those storylines. Whereas now, obviously, if you're headed to space, I mean, as far as we know it, none of us have been to all these planets, so it's a little bit more far-fetched, I guess, for some folks. For me, I'm still excited. Let me know if you are too, down in the comment section below, and smack that like button if you are. Now, here's the actual storyline. So, players will go head-to-head with the time-traveling Kang the Conqueror, which is awesome. That is a really cool idea. I love that. And they will do so in an epic battle across Chronopolis, from ancient Egypt to the Old West, to Sakaar, which is super duper cool, and New York City in 2099. So we're going to go into the future. How cool is that? Along the way, gamers will be able to take control of a host of iconic characters, from Cowboy Captain America from the past to Spider-Man 2099 from the future, along with Thor, Hulk, the Guardians of the Galaxy, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, Green Goblin, and dozens of other Marvel superheroes and super villains. So that is really, really, really cool. Super duper excited about that. But then that's not all. So let's discuss some other elements. Now, this is kind of more on the gameplay side of things, but it certainly is quite cool to hear some confirmations about this as well. So essentially what they've announced is that it's going to feature 4-player multiplayer mode, which is really cool. And it allows you to play either cooperatively as a team in that mode. So you could do probably 2v2, or maybe you could do 3v1, but I doubt it. It's probably 2 versus 2. Or you could play just all-out brawl between the 4 of you. Now, what is that brawl? Well, it's going to be a new competitive mode called Superhero Battling Mode, which sounds a little generic, but to me, from what the actual description of it, from what we've heard, essentially it will be kind of like the battle arenas for LEGO Dimensions. So if you played those, they're essentially tiny little mini games in which you get to run around. There's 1 or 2 objectives for that particular mission. So it might be something like each one of you has a base, let's say with a flag, right? And then you're supposed to capture the flag from your opponents and bring them back to your base. The person with the most flag captures wins. So that's one of them that they have as a battle arena in LEGO Dimensions. So I'm guessing that this is going to be kind of similar. I'm perfectly okay with it because to me, it's just added content. It's going to be added on top of the open hub world of Chronopolis and all these other hub worlds that we're going to get to travel to. So I'm perfectly okay with that. And I think that that is actually really cool to see. I also love that the storyline is original. And another thing that I love that they touched on, which kind of makes me think about, like, wait, is there going to be a point in replaying this game multiple times to see how it unfolds? Because they mentioned the word branching storyline. So does that mean that there are going to be moments in the game, let's say as we're playing along and we show up in New York City in 2099, right? And we're doing a mission and we're chasing down Kang with, I don't know, Spider-Man 2099 and some other team-up character, right? And as we're going through that mission, suddenly there is a decision-making moment, and based on what you do here in the future, there will be an impact further on in the future, or onto the past, or something like that, to where now the storyline that I play will be in some little way different to the storyline that you play, because let's say I chose to go through path A, whereas you chose to go through path B. And how many of those paths will there be? So I'm very, very excited about this because it sounds very ambitious, and it sounds like something that will be very much larger in scale and offer some really interesting stuff that we haven't seen in other LEGO games. Because the one thing that I cannot stand is when people say that all the LEGO games are the same, because it's like, if you play them, you can see the nuances. Yes, maybe they're not, you know, as drastically different from one another as I'd like them to be. I agree with that. But I think that if you see the tiny little tweaks, from just how much better the graphics have gotten for the character models, to then the amount of lines, voice lines that they provide, little jokes, Easter eggs, all the incredible amount of stuff that they throw in there with the gold brick missions, the side quests, and so on and so forth, that has grown and evolved so much. I cannot wait to see what this next step will be for the LEGO games. So with that in mind, the final thing I wanted to touch on was the picture that was revealed that looks absolutely beautiful for some more characters. And we get a confirmation in this picture of what will this Western Captain America look like. It looks incredibly cool. I really love that design. I hope we get an actual minifigure of that. We have a gorgeous, absolutely ridiculously awesome World War Hulk who looks super duper cool. Very happy about that. Spidey 2099 looks absolutely incredible as well. We have Rocket Raccoon along with Baby Groot on his shoulders or on his head, and that looks great as well. And then on top of that, Gwenpool. Yes! Dude, I made that character token list, remember? For kind of like a wish list for LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2. And one of the most highly requested characters was Gwenpool. And when I say Gwenpool, I actually am completely messing this up right now because it's actually Spider-Gwen, not Gwenpool. But to me, if Spider-Gwen is there, I'm gonna bet you that we're gonna get Gwenpool as well. Because it'd be so like, what? Really? You gave us Spider-Gwen, but we're not gonna get Gwenpool? You gotta include her there as well. So that is super duper exciting. Then in that same picture, we also see Captain Marvel and Doctor Strange. Now, the other thing that's really interesting is that in the background behind Groot and Rocket, you can spot Black Panther. So that's another nice little touch that I think some people didn't even notice. And I really like that character model. To me, though, it kind of looks like the MCU one that we had in LEGO Marvel Avengers. Maybe I'm wrong, but it certainly resembles that one. So we'll see, I guess, when we get more close-up shots and details about that. But then the other thing that I also did spot is that we have this really interesting pillar right next to Doctor Strange, and behind that pillar, maybe you guys didn't even notice, but in the background, that's a face. And I assume that that's probably Kang, because Kang the Conqueror is going to be the main baddie of LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2. I also am really interested to see if those are kind of previews of some of the hub worlds that we're going to be traveling to. So like on the right where we see Captain America and Hulk, is that like Spider-Man 2099 or New York City 2099 that we see there? Or on the left-hand side, is that Wakanda, you know, with Black Panther being there? I'm not sure, but it certainly looks intriguing. So will those be actual hub worlds, or are those just little backgrounds or backgrounds from levels? I guess time will tell, but there certainly is a lot of exciting stuff coming. Now, with that in mind, ladies and gents, thank you so very much for watching today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will have one more video for you guys later on today, because I really want to kind of gather up all the character reveals and wait on basically if there's any more news, because I made that teaser trailer and then suddenly they released this information about like the actual story and everything. So the video will probably be a little bit later because I really don't want to make like, 70 update videos. So I'm going to wait till the end of the day and see everything that gets revealed and then let you guys know at the end. So thank you guys so very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this news update. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. See you later, alligators.